$7,000. That's the average amount millennials have spent on online courses in the last 5 years. And if you've bought one of those $997 programs with the sleek landing page and the countdown timer, I have some uncomfortable news for you. 87% of people who buy those courses never make back what they paid, not even close. But here's what's interesting. There's a small group of people, about 4%, who take the exact same information and turn it into real income. The difference isn't intelligence, it isn't work ethic, it's something else entirely. And today I'm going to show you the free 2-day test that separates the 4% from the 87%. It costs nothing. It takes 48 hours. And it predicts whether your side hustle idea will actually work before you spend a single dollar on a course, a tool, or a coach. Let's talk about the $997 price point first, because it's not random, it's engineered. $997 sits in a psychological sweet spot. It's expensive enough that you take it seriously. But it's just under $1,000, so your brain doesn't trigger the alarm it should. Course creators know this. They've tested it extensively. A $500 course and a $997 course with identical content. The more expensive one actually sells better, because price signals value. And when you're desperate to change your financial situation, you're not buying education. You're buying hope. Now let me be clear about something. I'm not saying all courses are bad. Some are genuinely excellent. But the business model behind most of them has a fundamental flaw that nobody talks about. The flaw is this: selling a course and doing the thing the course teaches are completely different skills. Someone can be brilliant at funnels, copywriting, and persuasion, and teach a mediocre framework for dropshipping. The course sells because the marketing is world-class, not because the method works. And here's the data that really hurts. A major study by Class Central looked at completion rates across online courses. The average completion rate for paid online courses is between 5 and 15%. That means 85 to 95% of people who buy a course never even finish it. Of the people who do finish, most never implement what they learned. And of the people who implement, most pick the wrong niche, the wrong offer, or the wrong platform for their specific situation. When you multiply those filters together, you end up with that 87% failure rate. It's not that the information is always wrong. It's that information without validation is just expensive entertainment. So let's talk about the 2-day validation test. This is the framework that costs nothing and tells you whether your side hustle idea has legs. Day 1 is what I call the demand probe. You're going to find out if actual human beings want what you're thinking about offering. Not your friends, not your family, strangers with credit cards. Here's how it works. Pick your idea. Let's say you want to do freelance social media management for local restaurants. You're going to create a simple one-page website, or even just a Google form that describes the service as if it already exists, price included. Then you're going to reach out to 20 restaurant owners through email, DM, or walking in the door. Not to pitch them, not to sell them. You're going to say something like this. Hey, I'm building a service that handles social media for local restaurants. Posts 3 times a week, responds to comments, runs basic promotions. It would cost around $800 a month. Would something like this be useful for you? I'm just trying to figure out if this is worth building. That's it. You're not charging anyone. You're not promising anything. You're measuring genuine interest. Here's what the responses tell you. If 0 out of 20 respond, or everyone says no, that's data. Your idea might need to be repositioned, or the market might not exist in your area. If 5 to 10 respond and ask follow-up questions, you have moderate demand. If 10 or more say yes, and some ask when they can start, you have strong validation. Notice what you didn't do. You didn't spend $997. You didn't watch 40 hours of video. You spent an afternoon sending messages. Now, day 2 is what I call the reverse engineer. You're going to take the strongest signal from day 1 and work backward from the income goal to the actual daily actions required. Most people skip this step. They see a course that says you can make $10,000 a month, and they buy it because the number feels good. They never do the math on what it actually takes. So let's do the math right now with that social media example. Say your goal is $5,000 a month in side income. At $800 per client, you need roughly 7 clients. To get 7 clients, assuming a 20% close rate from your validated leads, you need about 35 qualified conversations. To get 35 conversations, you might need to reach out to 150 to 200 prospects. Now here's the question that changes everything. Can you realistically reach out to 200 restaurant owners in the next month while working your current job? If the honest answer is yes, the idea is validated. Not just the demand, but your capacity to execute. If the answer is no, or you feel sick just thinking about it, then no course in the world is going to help you. Because the bottleneck isn't knowledge, it's bandwidth. And this is why most course buyers fail. They buy information about something they don't have the time, energy, or willingness to actually execute. The course becomes a form of productive procrastination. You feel like you're working on your future, but you're really just consuming content. Let me give you a real comparison. Imagine 2 people. Person A spends 3 months consuming a 15-module course on freelance writing. They learn about personal branding, pitching, portfolio building, SEO, and client management. They feel prepared. They finally start pitching in month 4. Person B spends 2 days doing the validation test. They send 50 pitches to potential clients with a basic offer. They get 3 responses. 1 turns into a paid gig for $300. By month 4, Person B has already earned money and refined their offer based on real feedback. Person A has a beautiful Notion dashboard. Person B has a working business. The 4% who succeed after buying courses? They were probably going to succeed anyway, because they already had the bias toward action. The course just accelerated something they were already going to do. Here's the uncomfortable truth about side hustles and online business education. Most of the knowledge in a $997 course is available for free, not hidden in some secret vault. It's on YouTube, it's in blog posts, it's in free communities. The course sellers know this. Their argument is that they save you time by organizing the information, and that's sometimes true. But here's the problem. When you haven't validated your idea yet, you don't even know which information you need. It's like buying a textbook on heart surgery when you haven't decided if you want to be a doctor. You're acquiring knowledge out of sequence. The correct sequence is validate demand first. Test your capacity to execute second. Then acquire only the specific knowledge you need to fill the gaps. Third, almost everyone does this backward. They acquire knowledge first, then try to figure out what to do with it, then discover they picked something that doesn't fit their life. So let me summarize the 2-day test one more time. Day 1. Reach out to 20 potential customers with a clear, simple description of what you'd offer and at what price. Measure the response rate, not polite interest, actual follow-up questions and requests to know more. Day 2. Reverse engineer your income goal into daily and weekly action requirements. Be brutally honest about whether those actions fit into your actual life, not your fantasy life, your real life with your real schedule and your real energy levels. If both days give you a green light, you now have something more valuable than any course can provide. You have proof that real people will pay real money for something you can actually deliver, and you got that proof for free in 48 hours. If either day gives you a red light, congratulations. You just saved yourself $997 and months of frustration. Pivot to a new idea and test again. The best side hustle isn't the one with the highest income potential on a sales page. It's the one you'll actually execute consistently because the market proved it wants it, and you proved you can do it. No course can do that work for you. But now you don't need one to. If this was helpful, there's more on the channel. I break down the actual economics of side hustles, investing fundamentals, and financial strategies that work in the real world. No $997 required.